So children, as today is a new day for you all, you have got your results and now you are going ahead in your life, and might be now from the jump from 10th to now 11th and so on. You are moving. And when you are moving, you are being advised a lot from everybody how to go about things. Many of you, especially now, today's address is for students who are preparing for either medical or engineering with your board preparation. So, how should you go ahead so that you are very comfortable with your board examination preparation as well as your competitive examination also is equally important. So, you are also getting ready for the competitive examination. You know, first thing is that I will advise you that every individual is different, and therefore, we do not have to have a panic sort of thing, that knowing who is going where and who is doing what, because you know ultimately how you plan inside, and there are 2-3 things very important for a child to succeed. Number one is that how is his mental health and physical health, and if you are very comfortable with your mental health, that is that you are understanding your limitation as well as your strength, and you are not going to race along with a crowd which does not know where is the end. So, I mean to say that first have a very solid positive image about yourself, very positive image about yourself, have a price tag on yourself that yeah, I am going to go ahead with in my own way and in my own creativity. And also you should understand to know the difference between the competitive examination and the board examination, so that you can merge both the things. I will go topic wise and I will tell you how to go about it. See, the board examinations, normal pattern is that we ask questions what the students know, because we do not have to get worried about, you know, when suppose I am the person who is taking board examination, I am the, say for example, I am there might be as a person on the top who is trying to give a board examination. What is board examination? There we try to give you certain concepts, certain syllabus, and we try to make a general skilled human being who knows things, who knows to read and write, who understands a little bit of mathematics, etc. So, board examination is actually a non-elimination exam. Here actually my punch word is we test what the student knows, we test this, what the student knows. But imagine if I have been given the task to select 100 students in a college, because there are 100 seats and the applicants are around, say for example, I take a little bit less number, 10,000. Now, you think you are under pressure. You are under pressure because you have to compete, but imagine the examiner. Now, among these 10,000 students when they are coming to give the exams, you know, basically around 1,000 students are equally talented, and they might all be at the same level. And therefore, I have to prepare a question where within the syllabus which you have studied, I have to test what you do not know. What you do not know, I have to prepare questions for this. And I imagine the task I have, and therefore I will try to first I have some task to do now. I have to go through the syllabus, I have to see and very minute part of the topics, and from there I have to develop questions which you may not have done, or might be you may not have used the skills. I will give you a very simple example, not from 11th and 12th at present. Suppose I know that you all know sum of exterior angle is equal to sum of opposite interior angle. You all know this. That means A is equal to B plus C. You know this. And then therefore in a board examination question, what I'll ask, this is 70, this is 50, how much is A? Or this is 150, this is 70, how much is B? Like that I will ask. But in the competitive examination questions, now they will ask you this: how much is sum of all this? And then what happens, I know that until unless you don't have, there are other things also, until unless you don't have the skills, you don't have the interest, unless until you don't have the confidence, and you are not able to, if you have not really concentrated here and you have seen it very simply, you will not be able to do this. 90% of the students will not be able to solve because there is something hidden here. I will just explain you. See, I will concentrate on this part. Now, here this angle is equal to angle B plus E, is equal to this angle, I name it 1. And this angle, because why it is equal to B plus E is because here is the exterior part hidden. Same way for this triangle, I am coloring it up. For this triangle, this is the exterior angle, I name it 2. So, angle 2 is equal to, let us see, this is the angle A plus angle C. Now, 1 plus 2 is A, B, C and E, and this is D. So, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E. Now, this whole thing is within a triangle, so it becomes 180, and therefore, the sum will be 180. So, this is how in mathematics also your skills, this is a very simple example of, I am telling you what is an elimination test, how do they check that, how among these 10,000 students, which 100 will be coming up to do this type of sums. And therefore, you have to study content, no, you have to study concept. Are you following? You don't have to study content, you have to study concept. Now, what is happening in the town? Why there are so many children rushing to the so-called institutes? Because institutes, what they are doing is, they are collecting these type of problems, and once they are collecting these type of problems, they are letting you to do practice. But the problem is, you are practicing so many problems that what is happening, it is overdose of wisdom. And therefore, you should try to use your brain and give freedom to your brain where your own thinking comes. If you can solve this question without really getting it from any book, or you have done it once, because now if I anytime ask this, it has become your memory. But suppose by chance if you are able to on your own solve these type of problems, then that means you are prepared. Otherwise, every sum gets on, as soon as you start doing a lot of things, then what happens, everything is becoming your memory, and the concept application is not there. Say for example, if I take a very simple example, I take of chemistry, very simple example of chemistry I take, very simple example. Suppose I tell you, what is the mass of one atom of hydrogen? It is just given like this. Now, what is this, from where it has come, you do not know. How come I know the mass of one atom of hydrogen in grams, say for example in grams. Now, this is very difficult for you think. But in 9th you have studied the mole concept. Now, try to think, if I was a student, how I will deal with this program. I will think that suppose a man is taking 1 mole of hydrogen in a bag. Then suppose if he is studying this way, in a bag he is taking 1 mole of hydrogen, he is taking either 1 gram of hydrogen, or he is taking 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of hydrogen. Now, what is happening? Try to have a look. That means 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of hydrogen will weigh 1 grams, isn't it? Now, if this many atoms will weigh 1 gram, the mass of one atom of hydrogen will be 1 by 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 grams. And now, if you take the power up, then it will be 10 to the power 23 divided by 6.022 grams. And this is what is the approximate answer. And therefore, what is happening is here, the mole concept, if they directly ask you a question, that in 2 grams of hydrogen, how many atoms are there, then you will straight away use the formula number of moles is equal to given mass by molecular mass, and that is memory. But application part is very, very important. Same way in physics, should I give one example? Same way in physics. In physics, suppose you have studied electricity chapter, and now they know that they will tell you that how much, I will use the green pen now for difference. They will tell you how much is the charge in coulombs on 10 to the power 20 electrons. Suppose this is the question. So, the board examination will be very simple. This is a board examination question. Q is equal to NE, that means Q is equal to 10 to the power 20 into 6.022 into 10 to the power 10 to the power 20 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs, isn't it? That is how we obtain Q is equal to NE. Now, but when the teacher has taught you little differently, he can ask you question differently. He can ask you, what has to be done? What has to be done to give a body 1 coulombs of positive charge? Suppose this is given, 1 coulomb of positive charge. Now, this is here your understanding how you have attended the class is very important, with interest or not. The teacher might have explained you that when a body loses electron or when a body gets positive charge, electrons go out. That means your first answer should be electrons have to be removed, and secondly, how many electrons have to be removed? Then the hint is here. Normally we think Q is equal to NE means always we will have to get Q, but here you have to get N. Actually, you have to get the value of N. N is equal to Q by E. That means to give a body 1 coulomb of positive charge, we have to extract this many of electrons, 10 to the power minus 19. Now, I will do the calculations very fast. So, 0.625 into 10 to the power, that means 625 into 10 to the power 16 electrons have to be removed to give a body 1 coulomb of positive charge. So, I mean to say, next time when I give a talk, I will tell you how these subjects are also interlinked. There are things of chemistry which we are learning, like simple voltaic cell with we are using, how the current flows, generation of current, all these things, you know, chemistry is linked with physics. So, I have given you these 3 topics. At the same time, one last thing I will tell you, I have touched everything, I did not touch bio. Like bio, have fun and understand the term. Bio is also science. We do science, we do not memorize science, and if we are not privileged to have lots of lab, then in your mind you create a lab. In your mind you live in that lab, because we are not fortunate, and might be nobody is fortunate to straight away have an access of labs in your life. You don't have. I don't think so. Until and unless you do not claim to become a scientist and later on you are not been acknowledged that you are a scientist, you will not be given a lab. So, in your mind, like for example, a cell. One day I asked, what is prokaryotic cell? prokaryotic cell. Now, only thing is here language skills are very, very important in bio. You have to understand, the meaning. Pro means primitive, karyon is related to nucleus. So, prokaryotic means primitive type of nucleus, a cell which is having primitive type of nucleus. What is a primitive type of nucleus? A cell which contains organelles which do not have definite boundaries, like that. And the same thing straight away now goes to karyokinesis. Now, karyon means nucleus and kinesis means to separate. That means in the cell division, when the nucleus are separating, then that process is known as karyokinesis. Then what is cytokinesis? That means when the whole cell later on generates two daughter cells, then that is cytokinesis. Children, I want to sum up all these things is that, your mental health, your enjoyment and your acknowledgement of the science contribution to life. The science contribution to life, your acknowledgement, and you think that you are studying because you want to contribute. All these theories and all these practicals and everything, you want to contribute, and you also acknowledge that what science is given to us. Until unless you don't have that respect towards science, I don't think so. We will be always becoming somebody in general. But to stand apart and to enjoy life, I don't want to tell you that if you be something for others, that's so important. Is that your life, how you have enjoyed through your studies, how much happy you have been from inside, from within. That is what is important, that education has to give to you, and you have to give back to life. It's that every time when you are knowing something, you remember you have to transmit it, you have to transcend it, you have to radiate it, and when you are happy, your health will be there good. I don't want any of my children to be a very good engineer without good vision. You are having 7.5 powered glasses, and you have built up a bridge, but you cannot stand on your own feet because studying, you have lost your health. I don't want, because if you want to really be good and go ahead in life, I think so it's very, very important that you enjoy and you try to first respect anything, the subject, the contribution of the subjects to life, the contribution of any subject to life, and once you do that, you will be doing well. So, competitive examination questions, in one sentence if I were to say, they are not difficult, they are different. They are not difficult. Once you do this, you find how easy it is. Once the solution comes out, you see, actually I had to know only the value of n. And here this, we had to relate 1 gram is equal to 6.0223 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. So, have all the best, and hopefully you enjoy your future of 10th to 11th and 12th transition. God bless you.